Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. Just taking a look at everything in front of me, making sure everything's working okay. We made a few adjustments over since last stream. So yeah, so I don't actually have a very specific plan for today. I can't remember what we decided last week or if we decided anything at all. So I thought I'd get started. So hello, welcome to Heart of a Hobbit. I am your host for the next 2 hours. I am Little Redhead, and I will be taking you around Lord of the Rings online in some fashion. We'll be doing something. It's never dull on Lord of the Rings online. I love running around Middle Earth, so we will definitely find something to do. Hello, der echt. That does look like the word echt in the middle, which is a Dutch word for like, what is it, like? Real, right. So are you the real toady? Perhaps? Yes, we're learning Dutch. We live in the Netherlands. And so yeah, we are taking Dutch lessons. And a little bit, so then of course I'm like, what does that mean again? Oh yeah, right. Oh, my cooldown timer's not here. Yeah. Hey, B4, welcome to the chat. Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Well, it is. Rock on. Well, welkom naar mijn stream. Ik ben Little Redhead. And dit is mijn Hobbit Rosenbloom. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and open up my Hobbit gifts for today because I haven't done that. Every day you get a Hobbit gift on each server that you're on. So I got a massive pile of silver scraps. Nice. And then if you're a VIP, once a week on Thursdays, you have a gold gift that pops up. And you have all week to pick it up, and then you'll get a new one on the following Thursday. So I try to pick mine up on Thursday, that way I don't forget, and then I don't miss one. And you get the Virtue Experience bottles there that you can drink, and then you also get like a special prize. So today my basic gift was 20 Virtue Experience and a massive pile of silver scraps, and then I also got 50 Virtue Experience and 5 scrolls of max morale and power. Actually, those are useful. We use those in things like Rift of Ner'zhul and things like that. All right, so my other thing I like to do when I first get on, let me go ahead and close that up, is talk to my BFF over here, Wenda Cranesbill. How are you, Wenda? So she says, would you like to accept this quest? And I say, yes, I would. And she says, would you like to finish this quest? And I say, yes, I would. All right, so now I have 2 more things in my inventory. A subscriber's jug, which I'm going to go ahead and consume. But it doesn't actually get rid of it. It still stays in your inventory for 6 hours, but you can just toss it out. And what that does is that accelerates any crafting that I'm doing. So instead of going like, it's like, it's pretty cool. And then any itemware that I would get from like combat or crafting or being defeated, I don't take that. So that is also pretty dang neat. I like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna shove that stuff down for a minute. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we're playing on the Treebeard server. And, oh, hang on, it looks like my captioning may have stopped again. Let me fix that again. Yeah, it keeps toggling itself off, so we'll see if that works. All right, there should be a little closed caption, like CC in little brackets, kind of over on the side. So you should be able to see that somewhere. It's all right, I was warm running around, and now I'm cold sitting down, so that's how this goes. So I'm gonna pull my hair down and act like a little blanket around me. That's one of the nice things about having long hair is it's like a built-in shawl, which is nice. Okay, so so we're on the Treebeard server, and it is a legendary server, so we don't have access to the entire world, but we do recently. So we have, let me go to the maps and let me show Eriador. So we have access to all of Eriador here. So like Ered Luin and the Shire and Avondale and Foreshell and the North Downs and all Lone Lands all the way over to the Trollshaws and Angmar, and then and over into Region, and then we just got access to Moria. The Mines of Moria opened up for us at the beginning of January, like January 5th. So with that, we then got access to Skirmishes, because Skirmishes were not open immediately. So now we're all excited and we're off doing Skirmishes when we're in between other things. So we have a group of four that we run around together and do Moria together. So, so I don't think we're going to do that tonight. I think we're going to do some 3-person Skirmishes. So, or 3-person instances. So, okay, yeah, Afdil, you are in charge. Awesome. So, yeah, tell us where we're going. Oh, hey, let's get out of the neighborhood. I'm going to port us over to, I'm going to port myself to Bree. You're welcome to come. My little drummer girl. How nice. I love the little Hobbit charge. It's very cute. Affadil is a fan of using that. Apparently, and I hadn't noticed it, but Affadil uses it so often that, like when we go into combat and stuff, that our kin members are starting to get used to hearing it. All right, here we go. And to the point where, like, if they're like focusing and, you know, not paying attention, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I hear the Hobbit charge, time to go. It's kind of funny. It's like a little cue. All right, so let's see what we got here. So we are doing, oh, I'm waiting. I've been told to wait. Oh, we don't have our Legendary Moria. Bum, bum, bum. All right, I'm gonna exit. Oh yeah, that's true. I'll take us to the 21st hall. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Does We're Willow need it too? Is she close enough? She might still get the travel. Okay, awesome. Yep, gotta pop over to the 21st hall. Totally forgot. We didn't have our Legendary Moria with us. So because we're on a Legendary server, there's a special quest that you can pick up. I'll show it to you. This one is Legendary Moria, so we pick it up in Moria, as I'm sure you're shocked to find out. So it's in the 21st hall. There's a fellow over here. It's interesting, I'm taking the longest to load. That's okay. That is fine. So this quartermaster right here, and he also has Legendary Moria rewards. So we're gonna pick up this quest called Legendary Moria Vanquishing the Deep. And he has a long list, so we'll take a look at that here in a second. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it. And then you get tokens, and you can turn those tokens in for any of these 5 things. So we'll come back to that too. But first, we're gonna get ourselves back into here. And I just realized I didn't do any foods yet, so let me work on that. Awesome, awesome. And you probably have a scroll to do. So, okay, yeah, so as Affadil is saying there on the screen, there are 24 items listed in that list that we saw. And we only have to do 12 of them. We don't have to do the entire list. Are you doing scrolls, or did you already? Buffy scrolls? Okay, we'll do them at the bottom. Whoa. Hey, I landed on top of that. I don't think I've done that before. Oh, and then that caused problems, because then I fell a little far in the next one. Is it that way? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this is a good way to get down. I think this is like less damage to a Hobbit. I like how there's a return to the surface, but there's not like a return to getting back down. All right, I'll stand here while you do scrolls, because it looks like I went one further than the two of you, which is fine. Okay, so now, so we're doing the Mirror Halls of Luminar, and is that how we get down without? Nope, that was not that injury. That's okay. And this first area, we have some frost wargs. Now this basically is one huge puzzle where you've got these lights, and if they get light from outside, which there's a little stream of light coming down, they can be turned to do different things. So notice in front of us, there's like a big portal, an opening, a tunnel that we should be able to get through, but it's all blocked off by the forces of darkness. And so if we shed some light on some of this darkness, so notice we've got a mirror up there that's capturing some light coming in, it's coming from there to there. Anyway, there's light being bounced around in here. So we're trying to get the light that's shining down here onto this mirror. And so see, there's a lever here. So if I pull this lever, I'll do it once. it's going to turn this mirror that we're standing next to. See how it turns? And then the light shines in a different place, and now it's shining right through here. So if I was to go back and turn that mirror again, it would not shine on this anymore, and this would close back up. So hijinks there. When you first do this instance, there's a handful of these mirror shards, because basically the Marivel who live in here don't like the mirrors, and they break them. And so you are, there's a quest to go and find, I think, I don't know how many of them there are, 8 mirror shards or something like that. No, we did that before. We did that. We came in here. This is not our first time in here. But there's so many deeds to do that we're back, so we can work on more deeds. Plus, this counts towards Legendary Moria. And that is good. So yes, we collected the mirror shards before, but that's the first one, and that starts the deed. So if you're coming through here sometime, make sure you keep an eye out. Crosstail is our little mini boss here. Started with 266,000 morale, and we each have like 10, 13, and 18,000. So it's enough of a boss that they do give us a chest for this one. And is this one that, yeah, we have medallions of, I think it's Lothlorien that just went by there. So everybody can touch the chest and get their medallions of Lothlorien. So that's that's nice. You get a little bonus for just at least coming in. All right. So yeah, Affadil's really good at the puzzle thing. So I usually just let Affadil work it out. And Affadil, don't forget to touch the chest. I think you're the last one. Cool. So notice that now the mirrors are bouncing. Yeah, mirrors are the jam. So notice how they're bouncing from there to there to there, and then to here, and then through the hallway. So that's what you're trying to do in this instance. Now you get to here and you're like, where do I go? It's down. Follow the light. Yeah. Oh, whoops! I did make it down. Okay. There's a pathway you can take here. It's just you have to keep turning around and around and around. So if you do get like vertigo or anything like that, you could look away. Like I could do this without watching, basically, if I wanted to. I could be like, probably up, probably up, probably up. And if you miss it, then you just fall down, whatever. Hopefully you've got good kinmates who can res you or something. Affadil Minstrel, she could res me. If I needed it. So we've been into Moria and we've gotten our legendary items, and they've changed the way that legendary items work now. I'll show you that here in a second, actually. And then I was going to show you the Legendary Moria thing. I just want to make sure I don't get left behind. This place is such a you go out and you spiral and to up or to down, and then you go up and go down and spiral and around and around. What's going on there? Marivel's rage, 1,000% increased damage on all attacks. Wow, that was cool. I didn't know she had that effect. It's neato. Hi there. Hi, Wagner. Welcome to the chat. We are in Moria in the mirror halls of Luminar and getting getting dazed by bats. That's always good. Oh yeah, so legendary items. So it's still the same thing where it goes into, you know, a weapon slot or whatnot. I'll just stand right here for a minute. And so let's see, if you do shift double click, yeah, it pulls it out. You can tooltip basically. I can take a look at it. And so it has a series of different slots and they have different categories. So the top one is your heraldic slot. And then you've got, oh, we just went over this last week and I forgot the names again. You've got ones that are specific to your class. So I've got some hunter specific ones, like the Rain of Arrows and the bow critical multiplier. Excuse me. You've got Words of Craft. That might be the class ones. You've got Words of, I forget. But anyway, there's 4 different categories. So one of the categories is this one with my Heraldry of the Serpent. We've got the Area Fact Attack Criticals. That's one of the other ones. Power rings. That's probably the ring of power. Sorry, I saw you said ring of power in the chat. The words of power, and then we've got the words of mastery. Oh, that's probably words of mastery are those, and then the craft is probably the empowered destruction. So you get these slots, and it's kind of like, remember how you had the little slots on weapons, and you would put in the essences. It's a very similar sort of idea, and then as you go up in level, then you can reforge your weapon about every 5 levels. You want to do it because it's like kind of in 5 little bands, I think, and you'll open up more and more slots, so you'll be able to add more and more things. And it's really cool. One of the things I really like about this is how customizable it is, how you can do your own thing. So like if I want to focus on very specific things with my hunter, I can focus on those things. Now there are some people who have very strong opinions about how, you know, certain things are really, really good and other things aren't worth your time, like that sort of thing. So you have to kind of look online and see if that makes sense for you, or, you know, if your play style is different from that, and just kind of piece it together. I mean, it's like with anything in a game, right? People have some very strong opinions about what's right and what's wrong, but when it comes down to it, really, you're just looking for what works for your play style. So, yes, so Rolled Wolf, did you see the Rings of Power stills, you ask? So, yes, sort of. I watched the Tolkien Professor, who streams here on, this is the official Lotro channel, and I watched the Tolkien Professor, who streams here on Fridays. He's on at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and he, on then his regular Signum U channel, was going over those stills with somebody else, and they were looking at them one at a time, and like getting some really, you know, like digging into like, well, this cloth is woven, but it seems like it's very, you know, hastily done, but yet what they're wearing underneath looks very, you know, very well put together. And so we're thinking this is somebody who's hiding or trying to be dressed up as somebody else, or, you know what I mean? Like, it was really fun to watch that, because for those of you who aren't aware, so Amazon is going to be doing a TV show series where it's called The Rings of Power, and it's going to be Second Age. So Lord of the Rings takes place in the Third Age, and so the rings themselves were crafted in the Second Age, and so that's what the Amazon, sorry. So okay, yes, we're at the very end of the Third, and we go into the Fourth Age during Lord of the Rings Online, sure. But Lord of the Rings, yeah, and Lord of the Rings, for sure. But it's basically Third Age. I mean, it's like, we're talking a lot of Third Age stuff. So Second Age is, yes, thousands of years prior to that. Okay, so that just so you have some context. So, yeah, so the Amazon series is going to be focusing on stuff that happened thousands of years before the stuff you know, before the, you know, Frodo and Bilbo and all those guys. The stills they put out as kind of like a teaser, it just shows like the torso mainly. So it shows like what they're wearing and something that they might be holding. Maybe you get like, you know, you can see if it's, you know, you can see their waist a little bit and stuff like that. But that was what the still was. So we're not getting any facial information. We didn't get like any longer information than that. I mean, it's just their torso. So it was really interesting to see how much information can you fit into that kind of a shot. So like people are looking at their fingers, like, are they dirty? Does it look like they're working with their hands? Or are these people who look like, you know, maybe they don't work, they're not working people, they're maybe people who are the ruling people, stuff like that. Yes, oh my gosh. So there's one that is definitely appears to be a female, because you see their waist and the waist cuts in. So it definitely has that female shape. And, oh, they showed new ones today, says Harold Wolf. Oh, I didn't see the new ones today. I did not. I just saw the ones from last week, or yeah, I think it was last week, where it was just the torso. So the new ones that they just put out, is it, do they show the faces, or is it is it the same pictures but more of it, or are there different pictures? And is it the same people as the previous pictures, but in different poses, or is it different people altogether? Okay, so those are questions for those of you who have seen. Okay, one is the same as the previous picture. So it's the same, it might be the same people, but we're getting more of it or different poses. So one of the pictures that I saw last week that they were going over, and I should say the Tolkien professor, they went through like a third of the pictures in the stream that I watched, which was a couple hours. I haven't seen all of them in like, close detail. Like I just kind of passed by them a little bit, but I didn't look at them too closely yet, except for those. So one is zoomed out, all the same people, new scenes. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks for cueing me in here. That's awesome. Yeah, I guess I'll have to go take a look. But yeah, so there was one last week that was very much a female, very much armor, but very beautiful armor, very tailored to the person who was wearing it. And she was holding I think it was a dagger, right? Or a small sword. And it definitely had, from a lore perspective, like it had a lot of things that clued you into that this would be Galadriel. So that was pretty neat. It had possibly Silmarils, not actual Silmarils on it, but like something that would be an allusion to Silmarils. And it had like silver and gold, I think it was, intertwined. It definitely said Galadriel all over it. So yeah, so that's exciting. So I definitely will have to go and take a look at the pictures. So there's a part of me that I want to see all the stuff, and then there's a part of me that wants to wait and be surprised, because my virtue cap's reach. That's not why. I mean, that's just a side note. Hang on, let me pick a thing. Sure, you look like you need more virtue. Awesome. I feel like that was a who is it that was doing that? Who and why? They're a pair of hobbits on Laurelin, and they were telling a story. And at one point, who was telling the story, and he would get to a part of the story, and then he was telling like a story about somebody had something had gone missing, and they were trying to figure out. It was a detective kind of story, and he was like, and now it's time for Y to sing, and Y's like, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody can prove anything. He's like, no, we're gonna play a song. It was like very clever little use of language there. Okay, so yeah, with the Amazon series, so Amazon as a company has, shown itself to be focused perhaps more on financial benefit and perhaps less on, let's say, employee benefit. So I have concerns about how they will manage any IP, because I don't know if they do other shows. I haven't actually paid attention. Because my concern is that if they're at a crossroads and they have to choose, what's gonna be better storytelling or what's gonna be better financially, they might choose the finances and not what's best for the story. And that would make me sad. I would definitely be disappointed by that. So that's why I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much with the Amazon series. On the other hand, I mean, like, there's some great stories that can be told, right, from the Second Age, and seeing how these rings came together and using a lot of the breadcrumbs that Tolkien left for us. So, it will make you sad. What, you think the Amazon series will make me sad? I hope not. I mean, yeah, right? You're prepared to be surprised by it, says before. Yeah, like I'm trying to temper my expectations, but at the same time, I want to be excited about it because I want to see these stories told. So I don't know. right? Like, hard to say. Yes, right? Ben Rolandi says, whatever happens, we'll always have the books. And that is so true, right? Like, we always have the source material, at least. And I love the fact that, like, that we're getting more stuff from the Tolkien estate from time to time, like, you know, coming out with the letters, or what was the recent, there's been, like, well, the Silmarillion, of course. So yeah, so there's still stuff that we have access to and can maybe continue to get more access to, depending on, you know, what's there. It's so funny because, yeah, at what point do you say, well, no, this isn't, you know, these are notes that he took, but not really relevant to anything. Or, you know, this was stuff that he was thinking through, but then he changed his mind, so, you know, this isn't really worth keeping. But on the other hand, sometimes just following that chain of the thought process, even if something was eventually, like, you know, chosen not to be whatever, like how Frodo's name was originally Bingo, and then you know, and how they were going to be Boffins, but then it got changed to Baggins, things like that, right? Like, it's fun to see those breadcrumbs, regardless of how they may not have actually impacted the story in the end. As opposed to, there's some other breadcrumbs, which, again, the Tolkien professor would be the one to do this, but, you know, there may be things where, like, you know, Tolkien went one way and then changed his mind and went a different way, but using some of that pre-knowledge helped guide what he chose in that regard. And so if there's gaps where there's questions of, like, did he intend this or not, you could say, well, he was going this direction, so he possibly intended to keep that philosophy behind it, right? Like, yeah, it's just interesting. And he just made such a full, rich world that being able to see more of it in various ways in the writings is fun. So, yeah. So yes, I agree with you. Whatever happens, we'll still have the books. Right, because I guess, oh yeah, so, and I'm sure it's going to come up in conversation today, I expected it already, about, because there's big news about the sale of merchandising rights. So, and I forget how it all, the layers within the layers, right? But, so the Tolkien estate is who I always think owns everything, but they don't. But they own, I think they have the rights to all of the source material in some fashion, but the merchandising rights based on, like, commercial, like, video and like movies and TV shows, maybe, I think they don't have. And this goes back to, and we were watching a really interesting video by a YouTube guy called Folding Ideas, who pointed out at one point that some of the, because of the way that the publishers were different in different countries, so it went out of copyright for a little while in, I think, the US, and that's how some people ended up with rights that were not the Tolkien family. Okay, so hang on a second. We don't need to do the challenge, I don't think. We've already done it once. We would lose out on 3 medallions of Lothlorien. I'm okay. It's okay. It's up to you two. I will follow the majority. I am okay either way. We can do the challenge. I mean, we're capable of it. So the challenge, just in case people are curious what we're talking about here, is you end up on this mirror here. And so you've got, like, just as a side note, you end up on this mirror and you've got, like, it messes up your, no, not falling injury, but it's like skating on ice. It's kind of funny. It messes up your movement abilities. Anyway, so you notice how she's got some other Marivel around the side. So we've got, like, a Morval Tough and a Morval Blood Drinker and a Morval Stalker. But you'll notice, like, there's a blood drinker over there and there's a blood drinker over there. So basically, if you manage to not defeat, leave one of each type alive, that's the challenge. So what you do is you get somebody who's really good at it to basically, like, mark them. So you're like, mark one of each kind, and then you just make sure that you don't attack that specific one. But I think we're just, yeah. we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna do an area attack and take them all out. Yeah, well, that's fine. So we lost one of the chests or whatever. That's fine. Because it weakens her if you defeat her people. So basically the idea is that you make it harder. It's easier to defeat her if her minions are gone. Harder to defeat her if her minions are there. So you make it harder on yourself by leaving her minions around. But we did not. We did it before. Yay! We completed. Woot woot. Okay. So anyway, so Saul Zanz is who ended up with the rights to merchandising and licensing of, it's like very specific wording, but basically they have some rights. And what's that? Yeah, I think it's like the rights to merchandising based on films and games or something of that sort. I don't know if it applies to Lotro though, because I know like SSG is like their stuff is directly through the Tolkien estate, I think. Oh, did they? Well, anyway, you can type it in there. I'm not sure. Anyway, so getting chat on the side. So I don't know the details, but I know Saul Zanz has decided to sell. And based on the timing, it would appear that one of two things is their intent. Like either they're trying to capitalize on it now before Amazon's thing comes out, so that way whoever buys it can kind of ride on the shoulders of that, or they're trying to sell now so Amazon will buy it now and tie it all together. My guess is Amazon is their first expectation on buyer. I mean, I saw something like $2 billion, $2 billion is the value of this potential sale. Ridiculous, crazy. I just wish the Tolkien estate would take it, but I'm guessing they don't have that deep of pockets. And the reason I say that is because I have noticed that the Tolkien estate is very much like they're extra cautious, right? Like to the point where they're like, I don't know, you've done some good stuff, but we'll just think about it for another 10 years. You know what I mean? Like they're very cautious. But that means that when you do see things, you're like, okay, it's probably going to be pretty good, and it's gonna do a great service to the source material. So that's neat. So we don't end up with, let's say, action figures with like, I don't know, a buff beefcake Sam or something. Because it wouldn't surprise me if some people would choose to do that just because it would possibly sell. Now, I mean, Sam was a farmer. Farmers are like kicked butt for being strong and stuff. Like my mom or my grandma, I mean, she had a garden, but it was significant. And I mean, she had guns, like, right? Like, so you could easily make a case for a beefcake Sam, but that's not, that's not what we want. Whoops, I missed the step. My bad. I think I'm too far from you, right? Yeah, I'll just retreat and come back. Whoopsie. Yeah, someday I figure I should just do a montage called "Oops, That's Not Stairs," because I do that a lot. Oh, we don't have fast feet on. Yeah, we do. Okay. Leafy feet. The hunter thing. Yeah, so that's my concern, is that whoever purchases these merchandising rights might make choices that are, again, more money focused and less lore focused. And that would make me sad, as we discussed before. Oh, how cute. Somehow I didn't even notice some of these little stairs and things that are like under the water. That's cool. That's very cool. Whoops. I like these little ledges too, like how you can't just run necessarily. Sometimes the stuff meets up together in a way that you naturally would have to jump over that. So that's the best thing. I love her dual wielding shovels. Oh my gosh. So good. Oh, we're not going back up? We're going down somewhere. Ah, okay. I made that one. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. So we are now in the water wheels, which is another, this is the Naladoom. Naladoom! So you'll often, if you go to the Chamber of the Crossroads in Moria, there's a lot of dwarves standing around there who, there's a trio of them who have some stuff, some quests for you, and some of them send you out here to do some of this. Hey, I may have grabbed some aggro. Nice. I'm like, hey, I wonder if I can shoot that. Oh yeah, look, I can. And all of its little family comes along too. Good for Galadrim reputation. Yeah, right? Like, we haven't even gotten out of Moria yet into Lothlorien, but I am, they're gonna know all about us by the time we get there. Oh, do we need something? I'll do a lever. So should I stay here by this lever? What? Turn the wheel. Okay, I gotta go turn this wheel. Again, this is another puzzle, and I don't have it in my head. Okay, I'm turning the stone wheel. Wheel has been turned. All right, so they should be able to do the lever. Okay. Rear Willow standing by the lever. I'll do the lever. Okay, lever has been done also. Okay. Well, Rear Willow's here with me. Okay. We're just chilling by the water. So there's these giant water wheels underneath some portions of Moria, and you know they power various different things further up above us. But of course, since they haven't been in Moria, since the dwarves have been out of Moria for a while, now they're trying to bring an expedition back in. That's the storyline in Lotro. And so they're trying to get things working again. So like these water wheels, we're trying to help get them working again. Now, pseudo spoilers, there's a lot of stuff that's, you know, not been dealt with yet. So it's possible that these water wheels will never quite reach what they're trying to accomplish. All right, should I come down? Oh, okay. See, this instance, I still struggle to figure out where I'm supposed to go. I get parts of it, and then once I start going, I'm like, oh yeah, there again. But then I couldn't recreate it. So that's why I just follow the lines of where my people are. I don't know. Hello. We got a rock worm. Man, that guy's good. I would have called that a lizard instead of a worm, but I guess that's a Tolkien thing, isn't it? When I think of worms, I think of things that birds eat. You know, and that work in the ground and stir up the dirt. Think worm as in American fantasy books. Yeah, but Tolkien wasn't American, he was British. Cool. I know we're still getting those Khuzdul tablets. I don't know what that's going to do because he spelled it with an O instead of a Y. But then it reminds me of a worm that is spelled with an O, which are the little crawly things in the ground with the soil. Those are crawlers. No, those are worms. The early bird gets the crawler. No, it's the early bird gets the worm. What was I going to say? What I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so with the new legendary items, this is something that changed, since the summer. It's somewhere between now and last July, so somewhere in the last 6 months, we got the new legendary items. Somewhere in the last half of last year. And there was like all these different things that went into play with the previous ones. Like how you had to grind for things. Oh, October, thank you. See, I knew it was sometime between July and the end of the year. October qualifies, but that is a little bit more specific. Thanks, I get there. So yeah, so there was a whole bunch of things that you used to do with your old legendary items. And one of them is that you could get, you didn't have a legendary item that stayed with you forever. You would get a cool one, and then you would use that for a while, and then you'd find others that were better, and so you would disassemble your old one and use, parts of it for the new one. And then there was a whole other sequence of things that you were trying to do where you'd grind for stuff that you would use on it, and it was very, anyway. So in those Kuzdul tablets, you would take them to somebody standing around in Bree, and you would be able to get other legendary items for that. Oh, should I come on down? Okay. So that was one way you could get some of those ones that are better. This is the other way around, isn't it? Oops, no. I don't know, I can't find my way down. Oh no, this is just back and forth. That's right. Whee! Yeah, this is not the place to be if you have really bad vertigo or something. Sometimes I have to just walk and look away. Okay, I will follow you so I don't get locked out. So this is our big boss in here. And we are, if you stay outside and everybody else goes in, the door's locked. And then you're stuck outside. So we don't want that. That happened to me before. Not recently, but a while ago. I did do that. Yeah. Cool. We're in. Oh, you gotta watch out for the things that are gonna slam on the bed. I think I'm safe. Maybe I'll scooch over just a smidge. Yeah, there we go. If you're in between them, you're okay. You don't want to be underneath one. So anyway, so those Kuzdul, oh dang, I did not mean to do that. Stop moving, chickadoodle. Uh-oh, you're defeated. I don't think I can res you. I don't think I have that ability. Uh-oh. Okay. Anyway, you would take those to these folks in Bree, and you'd go to the specific person, like the hunter person or whatever. And I'd be like, hey, give me a better one. Take some of these tablets for it in exchange. And then they would give me a better one, and sometimes they'd be like, cool, give me a bunch of better ones, and I'll trash all of these, but I'll keep this one and use the parts on this other one. That kind of thing. Which always seemed a little weird. Like, it's a legendary item. Like, I'm not gonna, like, destroy... yeah, it just seems strange. It seemed weird. So, thankfully, the new legendary items are intended to stay with you forever. And then as you level up, you can level them up, and you can keep the same one. And then I like the simplicity of this because basically, okay, so I had it open. Let me open that up again. Shift, double click. So basically, right now, these are all the slots that I have. And then as I level up, then eventually I will, uh-oh, he's back. I will level up my legendary item from time to time as well. And so it will gain more spots. It will have more DPS, I'm guessing, as I go, things like that. One thing you can do, is get left behind by your party, hang on. Is the slot that those different pieces that I put in there, which are called traceries. It's a name that doesn't really connect for me, but it's okay. I'll get there. So the traceries that you put in there, the things you put into the slots, they themselves are like of a level. So like this one that I have, this one, if it disenchants into 20 ancient script, that's the lowest one. So this was probably like a yellow or something. And then if it disenchants into 40 ancient script, that's like the next one up. That's the, what is it, purple. And then if it disenchants into 60, that's the best one generally. That's the blue or cyan ones, right? And then there's gold, but those are really more like high end of the, like, top, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the server cap. It's the server cap stuff, generally. And we're not running like server cap, you know, need the most beefy stuff ever kind of stuff. So gold is not an issue. So teal for us, the cyan, the blue, that's like our top tier stuff. So let's see, I still have the second to the best. As you go up in levels, you'll want to replace some of these things because there'll be better ones. Like this one's the best I can have at this point. And you'll notice it says item level 60, but there's some that you can buy that are like item level 80 or something like that. So at some point I'll want to swap those out. Now you don't swap them per se. You can just take a new one and just put it into that spot and it just takes over. The one that's there just goes away. You don't get it back, you can't disenchant it. But there are, I forget what they're called, but there's some stuff you can get, like scripts or something, so you can take it out and then you can, you know, disenchant that item if you really want to. Right now, coming in here, like we're in, what are we, the school at Meandering. We're gonna get a bunch of these in here. In fact, did I get any yet? I didn't get one yet, but. Oh, there's an enhancement rune in this chest, and then there's traceries in the next one. So you just go and run this instance or other instances like this. I think this is the best one at this moment from what I hear. You're gonna get more stuff and you don't have to spend whatever it is to disenchant the other one and take it out. I'm dying, by the way. I'm being shot at by like 2 things. Where's the other one? Ooh, thank you. What? A hunter randomly attacking things? I'm agog and aghast. That never happens. And I'm still in combat. Who am I in combat with now? We don't have to attack everything in here? Oh. Sorry. Here, why don't I just follow you for a minute? Maybe that'll get me to stop attacking things. Oops. All right, thank you. Oh, hey, there's scraps of knowledge in here that it wants me to look at. Have I done that one before? Can't remember if I have or not. I think I have. I think I've done this one before. When you come into a lot of these instances, there'll be an auto-bestowed quest that you can do. 1 or 2, maybe 3. And sometimes that it accumulates cumulatively. Once you've done all of them, it will count. It'll complete a deed for you. So we're very deed focused. So sometimes I'm like, oh, have I done that one yet or not? But I don't think I'm going to worry about it today because I think we'll be back. I know we'll be back. We've done these a few times. I think I might have done all the completing quests in here indeed. And if not, I'll do it later. That's fine. It's no big deal. There we go. So we get a chest for this guy. Woot woot. Tracery reclamation scroll. See, Agatha is good with all the names, the naming of things. You're good at that. Whoops. Oh, don't do that now. Oh, okay. So we're gonna do this challenge. Okay, so this challenge is actually kind of entertaining. So basically, there's a whole bunch of bad guys in that room, and they've gone and lit the things, the podiums with the books. They've lit those on fire because they're awful people who don't like knowledge. So what we're going to do is we're going to run in there and we're going to go and extinguish all of those before we take on the big bad guy. The easiest way to do that is you have somebody go in there, scream at them all, get their attention, and then run out. So all the bad guys go running out after them, and then they just kind of run around the courtyard for a minute while the other 2 go and extinguish the books. So I'm going to work on extinguishing books. I'm happy to not be the aggro kiter. Yeah, so, and then, yeah, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go and extinguish books. I'm totally fine with that. So we're gonna stand out here for a moment. So now it says the books are being burned, they must be saved. So we're gonna just chill out here for a minute so we don't grab any aggro by mistake. And then when she comes running out, is that good? All right, we're gonna go running in. Just go sliding right by all these folks who are looking for a different small hobbit, not me. And then we're gonna start putting things out. So basically one person goes to one side of the room, the other person goes to the other side of the room. And it's a long induction, you can see. So this is why getting all the bad guys out of the room really helps, because otherwise if you're sitting here being attacked this whole time, it's really frustrating. Okay, got another one, cool. Doing number 3 on my side. So yeah, so Agatha mentions that with the new legendary items, what you're looking for, if you wanted to take the essences out, or the traceries out, you would get a tracery reclamation scroll, or you could use mithril coins to take out like a specific one, or if you want to just take them all out, you can do that. It seems, because I feel like getting these things is easy. Did we get it? All right. We have extinguished all the book stands. Yep. Well, yeah, okay, so getting up to teal is easy. And I mean, from my understanding, you don't need gold unless you're running like tier 5, you know, end level content, is my understanding. I mean, like, we are not having any problems with our teal, and even in my case, some non-teal, some yellow, you know, trash in there. I mean, we seem to be doing just fine. So, I know some people are very like, oh my gosh, we can't get the gold because it's only in this and that and the other, and we don't have access. And it's like, do you need it? Like, that's really that's always my first question. In most everything in life, to be honest. And somebody's like, well, I don't have blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but what are you missing out in your life by not having that? You know, like, yeah, I always find that strange. I mean, and that's something that's taken me time to get to that point, though. So, I mean, it's not always like that, but yeah. Oh, so right, we're portrait exiting. Portrait exit. Yes, I do want to leave this instance. Thank you very much. Yeah, so see, I got an enhancement rune. Oh, I didn't mention what that does. I got an empowered blades, which is, now these are always bound to account, so I can't trade them around. But I can use them on other characters, which is nice. Also, if you deconstruct it, it goes into a shared pot on your server amongst all the characters on that account. So that's really convenient. Because like, we've been taking my lore master through there to get her some stuff, and you know, she's getting stuff that I really am not interested in using on her, and I don't need to use them on my hunter and stuff. So it's been nice because she just disenchants it all, and it goes into the same pot, and I can use that pot of tracery of an ancient script. I can use that, that ancient script on any one of those characters, and it's fine. So empowered blade, that's word of craft, and then I got one that is word of mastery hunter. So those ones are very class specific, as you can see. And then I also got a box, an enhancement rune box. What's in there? Oh, nice. So here, take a look at this. This is interesting. So you see I've got this kind of yellowish one, and then we've got this kind of bluish one. And it says enhancement rune level 50. This other one also says enhancement runes level 50. But the real kicker is enhancement limit. So this enhances one of your traceries, drag it onto the tracery you want to enhance. So for example, I think I might have some still I haven't done. This is what I was talking about earlier, is so you slot these little things in here, but if you want to upgrade, you don't upgrade the thingy. I mean, you can buy different thingies, but but you can upgrade the slot. And when you take stuff out or write over it and put something different in there, the slot stays upgraded. So let me show you the other one, because I don't think I've finished this one yet. Oh, and I'm not actually following. There we go, I'll follow you now. So notice how this one says level 56 out of 60. This one is level 52 out of 60, level 51 out of 60. So I could take this yellowish enhancement rune and like drag it over. Now notice how they're sparkling now? So that's telling me where I can do this. So that's kind of neat. Also, take a look at my stats real quick. So like if I do, let's do Ascendant Light. So notice it says 289 critical rating. So I'm gonna just plop that on there. Yes, I would like to do that. Notice how it went to 296 critical rating now. So it enhances the slot, but it makes that slot better, so whatever's in that slot is better. So that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that. Oh, so what I'm doing is, so we're level cap 60 right now. And let's see, that's not a good example. Let me find a better example. Where's my bubble? There you are. So if I go to my vault, because this is my main character, so she gets to carry it. Hang on to all the good stuff. So go to my LIs. Oh, drop these in here. I've been keeping all those heritage runes because they're, we're gonna get to use those in the, reward track that's coming out soon. All right, so future LI slots, there we go. So I've got some of that yellowish ones that are enhancement limit 70. I've got some purplish ones, they say enhancement limit 95. And then I've got some blue ones which say enhancement limit 115. So I'm planning for the future. Don't shoot any birds. Okay, oh, we're doing the challenge. So the scoop on that is that I just moved my screen. Hang on a second, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Is up until level 70, these yellowish ones will work for the slots. So I can use them on my legendary items up until the point where my legendary items are level 70. And then I won't be able to use those yellowish ones anymore. But then I'll be able to use the purplish ones all the way up until we go to level 95. And then once we get past level 95, I can start using those bluish ones, which is everything above level 115, to enhance those slots. So, yeah, and so we're on Treebeard, and our server cap is currently, is currently 60, and we're only going in small chunks because legendary server slower progression is what's going on here. We are progressing through the story at a slower pace. And so every 6 months we get the next area is opened up to us. So right now, yeah, we have Moria just opened up to us. And then in 6 months we'll get, where is it? Mirkwood? Yeah, we'll get Mirkwood. So in 6 months then we'll go into Mirkwood, that'll put us up to level 65. And then 6 months after that, is it Great River? No, that's like 85, isn't it? I forget where we go next, but maybe we go up to level 75 at that point. So it's gonna be a little while before I get to a point where I can't use those yellow enhancement runes. So mine are gonna be maxed out. I'm not even worried about that. It's a coming. Awesome, yay. Yeah, they'll be the same for the next few years on Treebeard. So our level and the enhancement will diverge, you say. Yeah, so Egther says, actually enhancement limits aren't the same as level limits, but the same general concept. Yeah, there's some nuances that I'm kind of skipping over in a way, and part of it is because I don't have a firm grasp on it. It's like the difference between Herrlich and Lecker. Like tasty and delicious, but the other way around, I think. Like still getting nuances on things, and I feel that way about the legendary items. there's some nuances that I don't have, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So what servers are the legendary servers, asks Neither Terror. So Anor, and it used to have its counterpart Ithil. However, Ithil, they went ahead and closed that because, so Anor was the original one, and then Anor was, when it opened, it was like, and they had waiting lines and stuff like that, and they didn't want that. So they opened up Ithil as kind of an overflow server, but then the lines went away really fast, and so it never quite got to the population that I think they were hoping it would. So they closed it this summer, but they opened up around the same time, they opened up these two, which are Shadowfax and Treebeard. So those are the 3 legendary servers. And the scoop with Shadowfax and Treebeard is that, so kind of stepping back, so getting into my, how do I create things, how do I make people happy mindset, here's what I think. So what was happening on Anor, and probably Ithil, I don't know, but I was on Anor, was that you would have, like, we're getting the next expansion about every 4 months or so, and so we had some people that were like, the first day it would come out, and they would just zoom right off to Cap, and then they'd be at Cap, and then they're bored. And they're like, cool, we're at Cap, I'm bored, when's the next one? And then there were people like me who were like doing every single quest in every single zone, full story everywhere you go, and really taking our time. And so, they would come out with the next expansion, and I was like, whoa, you're going too fast for me, I can't keep up. So they had, those 2 different camps of people who wanted very different things, and that'd be really hard to resolve. So I think that was happening, and they had that in mind. And then they also had this difficulty slider that they wanted to play around with. And that was basically you can go and decide to make the world a little harder. So you've got like normal difficulty, you can go up to hard, you can go up to deadly. So we're playing at deadly, which is the top band, but it's you can do deadly plus 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're playing at deadly plus 0. So we're in the deadly band, but we're at the lowest of the deadly options. And it means that outside of instances, like your landscape monsters, like they attack you. Okay, no AoEs, thank you. They attack you harder. There's times when there will be you incur the wrath of Sauron and his minions, and so you'll get like. There's an additional area effect that will hit you. And you get a little warning, a little box shows up on the ground. But if you don't get outside of that box in the amount of time, it's like a couple of seconds, you will get hit by basically, a big fire effect. So it's really interesting. People call it like, orbital attacks and lasers from space. It's kind of silly, but the implementation of it, I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent from a distinctly physical perspective, but I do like the effect because it forces me to pay a lot more attention to my surroundings. I'm just not on kind of like I am today. I'm just kind of on mental standby. You have to be a lot more attentive to what you're doing, and I find that fun. Okay, is that good? Is there anything else in here? Oh, awesome. One of our kinmates just finished up a wrapper in here. That's awesome. So I think they took what lessons they were learning from Anor and Ithil and said, okay, we're going to open up another server, but we're going to open it to do this difficulty slider so people can play with that. But we're going to go ahead and do it in 2 places. So you've got Shadowfax, which is going very, very fast, and you've got Treebeard, which is going very, very slow. And so that way it was able to attend to the needs of both of those camps, right? So you've got people who who wanted to go faster, they can go faster. The people like us who wanted to go slower, we can go slower. And I love it. So we are getting the new thing every 6 months. Instead of getting 100% of experience, we're getting less. Like on a Nor, you got 60% of experience, I think it was. Here, we're getting 40% of experience of like a monster kill. So like if a monster kill would give you 100, we would only, XP, we're only getting like 40 XP. So it's taking us longer to level, which is great because we level too fast still even. It still went by really fast. And so when we were doing from like 0 to 50, we actually used the Stone of the Tortoise a number of times because we wanted to experience the area that we were in within, a couple of that level itself, so the mobs weren't gray and things like that. Now this, we did go ahead to choose to go up to 60 because we wanted to be able to do Legendary Moria. The monsters in here are between 50 and 60, so everything, we're not, super over leveled or anything. It's not like we're running around the Shire. This opened up Legendary Moria. It got us all of our hunter travel skills for those of us who are hunters in the group. It got access to everybody to be able to use the gear, the gilded gear, which is I think at level 58. Yeah, so there was a number of kind of benchmarks that were like, yeah, let's go ahead and just do that. It'll be great. Okay, so I'm catching up, right? So let's see. Thanks. B4 put in a link about how to find out more about the legendary servers. Fantastic. So we're going to do a skirmish. This is the Fort of Brunnen. So we've got the twins, Eladan and Elro are here. And we are defending the Ford of Brunnen. So big famous place. And we are defending it from those folks over there who are trying to make their way across. So we have our little helpers. I've got my archer. Let's see, where Willow has her less than brilliant assistant. And we have our herbologist over there, Herbie. So yes, we are ready to go. Let's see, what does Elro here have to say? The drums have stopped. The assault will come any time now. Prepare yourself. Okay, sure. Let us meet them in the middle of the ford and dare them to come forth. Yeah, these guys are a little, the ford will become your brave. Like, they're like, rawr. Oh, and then we've got Sons of Elrond, I will delight in knowing your bodies will be floating here in the Brunnen while I watch over the ruins of Rivendell. Rawr. So they've got these 3 siege towers, and they're going to be dropping people over the barricades into the Brunnen with us. So that's what we're after. So the first assault is beginning. Prepare yourself. So here we go. Yes, Elro here and his friend. Here they come. They're on this end. So yeah, we can attack them from a distance with our hunterness. We can run up and hit them with the bjorningness. And notice it goes pretty fast. The only thing is you'll get, occasionally you'll get, oh, hey. You get this guy, a giant head smasher. Does he only smash giant heads, or is he a giant who is a head smasher? Yeah, new quest. Oh, hey, I'm dying and stuff. What's that all about? Thank you. Herbie's on it. Herbie's on the case. I'm not sure what I did. Another one? Yeah, it's so cute. She's like, this little herbologist running around healing people and looks at the enemy. Another one falls. It's like, okay, a little dark there for a moment. So I hope that answers your question about legendary servers. Let's see. You wish this game was on console, Xbox, deadly. So difficulty applies to skirmishes, but it applies to skirmishes. Nice, good call. So we might see some here in a skirmish. Oh, solo and duo skirmishes. Okay. You tried to do a skirm intro yesterday at Deadly +3. Oh, yes. The skirmish intro is tough on Deadly difficulty. I discovered that. Now it's just on Deadly +0. But I'm not going to change that because I don't want to lose out on the deeds, right? Like, I've gotten this far. I'm not giving up. Not giving up. because yeah, I love being able to, because we help each other out so well. Like we balance really well. So being in there by myself was a pain. So let's see. Okay, so Neither Terror was asking about that because you came back to the game yesterday. Well, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know what this would be like on a console. I know, so the Cordovan, who is the SSG community manager, so he works for SSG, he streams here on Fridays at noon. And he is, he's a big Atari guy, like old school, consoles, the whole deal. And he is trying out, I guess there's a new console that he has. Anyway, you'd have to ask him. He mentions Atari, and then my brain just goes back to playing my old Atari 2600, and I completely lose track of what he was talking about, and then like I come back and I'm like, we're on to a whole new topic, right? So you'd have to ask him. But anyway, so he's been trying out like what would happen if he tried to map it out onto a console. He's been playing with that. So he can give you some insight onto some of the challenge that might be inherent in that. Yeah, I am so used to using, like, let me take some stuff off here, but like I use practically all the keys on my keyboard. Like I am all over this thing. Plus I got I have the mouse that has little buttons on the sides too. And they're mapped to my, to all of my stuff. So yeah, I can't imagine trying to do this with just a couple little things. Oh, there we go. So this is something we get. We get these little defilers over here sometimes that just kind of sneak in, and they can cause trouble if we don't take them out. So sometimes you gotta remember to keep an eye out for them. So yes, how would you type in, like in chat? Like how would you, if like in your kin chat or like any of the chat, how would you type using just, it would take a long time. A, B, 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 A, C, E, down, F, like it would take forever, it seems like. But maybe some people are faster with their consoles with their controllers than I am. That's funny. Okay, so yes, welcome back to the game, Neither Terror. That's awesome. Let's see. Be kind to your skirmish soldiers. You named your herbalist bait and use them to hold aggro. You do not play responsibly. That's funny, Mary Rose. I just, she's an archer, so her name is Archer. That seemed hobbity. Oh, we have an encounter. A roar erupts south of the ford. An ancient worm has awoken. South, eh? All right, let's go take a look. Aha, I see a large worm. It was funny because this is one of the skirmishes that you would do for the Ill Omens event. The Ill Omens event, it basically was like each day you'd go to the Ill Omens quartermaster person and they'd be like, hey, we need help in these 4 places or whatever. And so you would go and do those 4 skirmishes, and in the skirmish, at one point an ill omen would appear. And so like for this one, it was usually over in that corner. So I'm always like, is he there? Is he there? Is he there? But of course, we're not in ill omens, we're just in regular old thing. So once you can do 3+ person skirmishes, you don't have landscape difficulty then. I see. Okay. So yeah, because we're doing a 3-person, we're doing 3 people. So yeah, that explains why we're not getting the landscape difficulty, which is, yeah, but you have to do the intro solo because you can't do it. It has to be done solo. It's rough. I found it hard because I really depend on other people making up for my deficiencies, as it were. I can't imagine trying to do it on like +3, +6. That'd be so funny. Cool, so you're joining us on Treebeard. That's awesome. Well, welcome to Treebeard. I think it's a good place. I like it here. So one of the things that happens about 1, newer servers, and 2, legendary servers, you have a smaller population because it's a legendary server, so you have to be a subscriber. So you have to be like VIP or lifetime or whatever. So it's not, so you get fewer people because there's fewer people who are subscribers than there are people who play, right? So anybody who's like free to play isn't necessarily going to come over and make a character on here unless they decide to subscribe, and then they would have to keep subscribing, which comes from free play. So it does change a little bit of the demographic too, because you have to have the money to be able to be a subscriber, or have had it to become a lifetime subscriber back 15 years ago. So you end up with an older demographic, basically, comparatively. And already, it's interesting because I think Lotro it skews older already because, it's an MMO still, definitely. You're out here, shooting things and bopping them on the head and whatnot. And there's tactics and coordination and all those things. But at the same time, it's very heavy on the lore of Lord of the Rings, right? And so if you, your average, 5-year-old doesn't read Lord of the Rings. Now your average 5-year-old doesn't play MMOs, but they can, right? Like, it's accessible, especially if they're playing with their parents and stuff. So it definitely, it's gonna take you into a different headspace than just a shooter or something, right? So already I find that Lotro, I think, kind of skews a little bit older. And so I think you get that with the legendary servers as well, even more so. And the other reason so you got a smaller population because it's a subset of the whole population, right? Oh, a banner from Rivendell drops. It must be planted. Okay. Is somebody on that? Are you on that? Okay, cool. All right, she's gonna throw it on a dirt pile. Well, or plant it. That seems more reasonable. Yes, another Treebearder, yay! We love Treebeard. Another thing and plus it's a newer server. So, because it's only been around since July. So, you've got fewer people here because it's only had the last, 6-7 months to gather people in, as opposed to like your average, other server, live server, where people have been joining and leaving and coming back and, and bringing their friends and, all of that cycle, which goes on for years and years. So you definitely have a smaller population on the legendary servers. So it does make it a little bit harder, say, to do, a 24-person thing or a 12-person thing. You have to coordinate it a little bit. But the cool thing is, if you are looking to do that, there's the little banner of Rivendell. If you are looking to do that, there will be other people who are also looking to do that. So what we did is when we were doing, when it was level 50 stuff that we were wanting to do, and when it was level 50, like cap was level 50, I just advertised, hey, on these 2 dates, we're gonna gather and we're gonna do, these things. And so if you're interested, let us know ahead of time. We'll make sure that we include you, and we'll also be grabbing people, on the day. So that was, and we did. We had people who were like, yeah, make sure to include me. And then we had people who were like, oh my gosh, yes, I've been wanting to do this, please, I'm so glad you're doing this right now, like that kind of thing. So, that's really what it comes down to, is you just have to sometimes plan ahead a little bit and be open to working with people that maybe you don't know, they're not in your kinship, but that's fine. You see the same people over and over again, which is kind of fun. He says, the ford remains ours and Rivendell shall be free from any assault, at least for this day. Oh, is there a chest? There's probably not, right? He says, this was a good victory and one the enemy's forces will not soon recover from. Okay, so travel now. Yeah, so just be prepared, like when you're playing on a legendary server, sometimes people join a legendary server and they're like, wow, it's like so quiet here. It's like, well, yes, it's, it hasn't been around for 10 years, the server hasn't. And people have to, be paying in some fashion or have paid in the past in order to be able to play here. And so that's not everybody who is able to play. That is a subset of the group. So, but it's really cool because people kind of look after each other in that regard then, because, it is a smaller group and we are all doing things together. So you'll find, like, if you're looking for something, like you need some armor, you need some weapons, whatever, on like your average server, you would go to the auction house, or you would ask somebody in your kinship. In this case, you still can go to your kinship depending on, on your kinship. Like, we have a good kinship, so we're able to make anything we want for our people if we want to. But not everybody's, like, maybe you don't always have somebody online because we're a smaller kinship. We like to keep it kind of small that way. So you might have, a situation where you're like, oh, I really need blah, 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 but I don't have somebody in my kin who's online to make it for me, or everybody's busy, or all their stuff's on cooldown, or whatever. But you can go to, like, looking for to the trade channel, and you'll often find somebody who can make stuff for you. So you'll often see somebody posting in trade or posting in the world channel, and they're like, hey, I need some stuff. Anybody help me out? And you're like, yeah, what you need? So everybody it's kind of like a larger kinship in a way. The entire server is a giant kinship, is the kind of the way I look at it. And we all help each other out. I'm gonna shoot that guy here in a second. Maybe not that guy. I'll shoot that guy. No, I'll shoot that guy. Okay, now we'll shoot that guy. Nope, he still has a shield. Hey, buddy. Let's get rid of that shield. Oh, it's a timed one. Now his shield's gone. It's a timed thing. Cool, now we can hit him. Yeah, so there's 193 non-anonymous characters on Treebeard just a few minutes ago. Woo-woo. Canyon has been claimed for the banner for the free peoples. Hey, Master the Master. You only need a herbalist maxed and to know the mechanics, and you have no troubles with skirmishes. Yeah, they're a great fun on max tier 12. I know, right? I really enjoy doing those larger skirmishes sometimes, the larger things, instances and whatnot, because it's just fun to see that many people running through together. Another reason why I really enjoy doing things like the Rift, or enjoy doing, sorry, I'm gonna come back. Yeah, Dragon Wing, or yeah, Heligrod. That's fun. I'm really looking forward to when we can do Dragok. Yes, that's gonna be so fun. That's the one where you have to have at least 6 people, because you have to do the fellowship maneuver and you have to hit the things in just the right order. We may end up needing to do voice on those. I think it would be folly to try and do those without having some sort of voice chat to call things out. And then hopefully one of us will get the fireplace, which is a drop that you can get. It's a rare drop that you can get in that instance. It's so cute. I got it on Evernight. Oh my gosh, it's so amazingly cute. It's a fireplace and it's got like a hoard of gold where the logs and stuff would go. And there's a little miniature dragon that's all curled up on top of the hoard of gold, which in itself is so cute. And then if you click on the dragon, he like lifts up his head and he goes, a little beam of fire comes out and then he lays back down. It's like one of the best. It's one of my favorite housing items for sure. So cute. The server is a kinship. It does. I feel like that really is the way. Because, I mean, yeah, you get your knuckleheads from time to time, but everybody's got an idiot uncle, right? So you'll see that in World, like, I mean, I just leave World on most all the time because people get into some really fun conversations, first of all. But then there's always, there's often somebody who's like, hey, I can't figure out how to X, Y, Z. And, people pop in and help out. I love it. So you don't have to rely on being in a, giant kinship of 50 people who are on all the time, whatever. You have a server of people. They're your extended kinship. Nasval is your warden on Treebeard now. So you're probably just getting started. So when you come out of the intro and everything, you'll want to pick up your difficulty. You'll want to make a difficulty choice. You'll need to do it before you are level 11. Once you hit level 11, it's too late if you want the deeds. Now, you don't have to do the deeds. I'm a big, deeds person, so that's my thing. So for example, I have 2 deeds that I'm currently working on. They're going to be a while. So this Adept of Bows, it says achieve 130th level playing through as a hunter, which I am, on hard difficulty or higher. So as long as I never drop below hard difficulty, when I get to level 130, I will receive that title and have completed that that deed, Adept of Bows. Now there's a companion one called Master of Bows, and that one is achieve 130th level playing through as a hunter on deadly difficulty. And that's what I am. I'm playing on deadly plus 0. So as long as I never drop below deadly plus 0, as long as I never drop below that, once I pick up any of the difficulties, sliders, difficulty options, then I will achieve that when I get to level 130. Which means, don't do what some people did, because what some people did is they picked up a thing at like level 5, and they're like, wow, this is really hard. I'm going to drop down for now, and then, move it back up when I get to like level 10. It doesn't work like that. Once you drop below, none of those other deeds will be available to you at all. You basically have to start your character over if you want to, which some people did do. So I am not so worried about the undying titles. I don't care if I perish before I get to level 20. Some people are more into those than I am. Because there's that thing, like if you make it to level 8 without making it, you become like the wary. You make it to level 14 without being defeated, you're the undefeated or whatever, right? Like you've got those different titles. And if you make it to level 20 without being defeated, you get the undefeated or the undying, whatever it was. You get that one title. Those I don't care as much about. So I was fine with picking up the difficulty slider, making my difficulty choice like at the beginning. So as soon as I come out of the intro, and like if I'm playing a Hobbit, you know how you end up in, up a needle hole, or is it Little Delving? Anyway, you end up Little Delving, and you gotta run down to Mickle Delving for stuff. And usually what I'll do is I'll grab like the mail and just take it with me because I'm going there anyway. Yeah, go ahead and get it started. I'm gonna hide. I'm ready to go though. Before you pick up the mail and start running to Mickle Delving, you want to, what I do is I go ahead and I pick up that difficulty quest and complete it right away. So that way I have it in my stuff and I don't forget to get it. Because we've done that. Which character is it? There's a character between one of us, I think, that forgot to pick it up and had to try again. Wow, you guys, I forget how difficult this part can be. So yeah, so there's a guy standing around. Oh, I forgot his name. What's the dude's name? There's a guy, somebody said doing a hard lean, which cracks me up, because he's like leaning up against something often. Oh, that one's not gonna go anywhere. Anyway, so you want to talk to that guy. What is his name? Broombear or something like that? Anyway, yeah, if you, which one are you? Are you a hobbit or an elf or a human? Oh, you're an elf. You're by, okay, so you're by the docks? Okay. Yep, in Kellendim, not too far from the docks, kind of on your way to go say hi to Elro here and Eladan. He's over in that area. Yeah, like across from the stable master, but closer to the docks than that. by a smidge. Oh, okay. I think Daffodil's keeping an eye on you. I'm getting little reports from time to time. Oh, the blood rook. Oh, that one's causing us trouble. Yeah, let's get rid of it. There we go. See, I like standing here where it's like, it's at least giving me a little bit of protection. Is any of that getting through? Yeah, a little bit of it is, okay. Let's do some more damage. Sorry, I'm gonna pay attention to what I'm doing here for a second. Some things I can do on mental standby, something like that. Who is, why is that still there? I'm sorry, we'll just work on this big guy. There we go. There we go. Woohoo! Yay! Yeah, one of the things I like about Treebeard, and Honor had some of this too, is that people will have like amenities and things like the crates where you can get the universal ingredients and like all the crafting facilities. And like there's a house in, I think it's in Bree, where everything is open. You can just walk over to the house, use all the stuff, all of that. And every so often he'll post in world chat, reminding people that address and where to go find that, which I think is great. So if you don't have like, you know, all the resources of a kinship behind you, you still have access to stuff, which is really nice. The auction house isn't as hoppin', but it definitely seems to have like the most popular things in it. So like maybe you won't find gear for like, you know, a level 10 in there necessarily, but you will find like the highest level foods or the vitality. Like right now the red tea that I have over there, the superior, I'm using the superior cup of red tea, but also there's cups of red tea. Superior gives you plus 90 vitality, and it's the best trail food there is right now. So I know red tea is selling pretty well in the auction house, for example. But some other things might not be, you know, you might not find them in the auction house. So you just ask in like the trade channel or world channel or whatever. And yeah, people will hook you up. Unless you're really obnoxious about it. Like sometimes somebody will post in the world and they're like, I'm not even sure if I can adequately do it, but they'll be like, need this. Who will do this for me? You know, it's like, well, I don't know. It depends on who you ask. Maybe try asking. So yeah. So if you ask for some help and you're not getting it, maybe reframe the question. This is so funny. This is like the Ill Omens tour that we're doing. A lot of these are part of the Ill Omens. They're not doing Ill Omens this year, and I'm a little sad because we had fun with that last year. Yeah, we're holding out hope that they'll surprise us and change their minds, but yeah. Well, and I think it happened around this time of year last year, like March or something maybe. So I think if they were going to do it, they'd have to do it pretty fast. And they've got so much going on because they just did the legendary item rework. So that was pretty big. And then the new Gundabad stuff. So that's kind of big. And then update 32 is coming probably this month sometime. And that's going to include a new housing area and the new reward tracker where you can earn points into earning rewards. And all of your characters, my understanding, so yeah, they're doing it so that like all of your characters contribute to that, to those rewards. Like all of your characters who earn points all the points go into a single bucket, and then you can choose what you want to get and what you want to do based on the rewards that are available. And my understanding is they're going to be very legendary item focused. I'm going to put down a couple traps. So we're doing a Wretched Falconer, which I know some people have very strong opinions about. I don't mind the Wretched Falconers. What they do is they have a shield around them. Well, okay, it's down now because he's got so little health, but he has a shield around him, so he is untouchable. But what he does is every so often he'll call out a falcon, and you attack the falcon, and sending out the falcon uses some of his morale. And so he sends out the falcon, and then you defeat the falcon, and then he eventually sends out another falcon, and you defeat that falcon. So you can't attack him the whole time. And so I guess that's what some people find annoying, but like, you just put down some traps and catch the falcons as they come out. That's always fun. And I guess because you have to keep switching off of him, like if you're doing auto target or something, you have to just remember to tab off of him and get to the falcon when it pops out. I don't know. I find it like really easy. So I guess some people really don't like it, but I'm like, it's so easy. Do you not like easy? Maybe some people, maybe that's it. Maybe it's too easy. Maybe they don't like the fact that it's too easy. Oh, that's gonna explode. I don't want to be near it when it explodes. See, yeah, it's like that. So that's what you get. That's the effect, that little fire that just happened. The Keg Master guy, that's kind of the effect you get from Sauron when you're doing the deadly difficulty. Every so often you'll get, it's like that. Like it'll be an effect. Like but instead of the keg being there, it'll just be a square on the ground. And then, and the effect where it can hit is much bigger. But it's that same look, like that kind of blowing up thing. It's cool. It's very cool. Okay, so let's see. So how is the auction house on Trigger? Oh, we were discussing that. Yeah, on the normal servers, auction houses are so expensive and people seem to go crazy with posting prices. Well, so here's a different thing, because remember, we've only been alive, the server has only been alive since the end of June. We're alive! It's alive! Yeah, so the economy does not have your average person with thousands of gold lying around with nothing to do. Like I have 12 characters, and they all are accumulating money for me in various small ways, like doing festivals. So I'm not sure if I am representative, but I think I might be, because I'm splitting my time amongst a number of characters versus getting it all in one. Anyway, oh nice. Long short, I have 392 gold on this server in total. I don't think I have the most, but I am definitely, I don't have the least. Like there are definitely people with much less gold than I have. And I think the auction house numbers are kept down a little bit like that. Like back to the tea example. Like if you put that tea up, like if you put like a stack of, I don't know, 50, is that probably the 50 stack of that up for like 10 gold, people will be like, I ain't paying that. You know, I'll just go find an alt to make it for me, thanks. You know? And there's, cool thing is there's some people who really are enjoying making food, and I think because if you have a cook, you know, you want to work on their XP and stuff, and also, you know, help you with the guild stuff. Anyway, so there's people who are just making food and giving it away. Like every day you'll see them hopping in and being like, I got all this food, please take it off my hands. So I would say the auction house prices are generally kept down. Let's see, but let me think, hang on, let me do my bubble. I keep not grabbing it. And where's my town services? There it is. I usually have that on my bar, but because it had expired, it wasn't there. Okay, so let's open the auction house. It's gonna take up a bunch of my screen. Oh hey, thanks for posting that Yes, I did a 4-hour pre-Erebor housing overview of like housing in general, and then I did a 2-hour separate one where we just looked at the Erebor housing that's coming out with update 32, which is supposed to be later on this month, sometime this month. Oh, there you go. So yes, so B4 has been selling stacks of 50 Superior Red Tea, the best vitality that we were talking about, for 1.5 gold for a stack of 50. So like if somebody puts up a stack for, puts up for 10, people will be like, I don't think so. So let's say, I don't know, crafting. Recipes. Oh, I just want to look up anything. Look at that. Let's look up armor. Is there any armor in the auction house? There we go. Let's sort by buyout. Okay, so yeah, see, there you go. Somebody's got like a level 38, world drop up for 3 silver, 6 silver buyout. And the highest you're gonna find is somebody's got some, a crafted level 50, item level 53, light armor. What's my stats? For 4 gold, 5 gold, and it probably will sit there. I don't think anybody's gonna buy that. Yeah, like you've got stuff just up for 500 silver. So just as an example. Oh, we got another falconer. Yeah, Weir Willis says targeting is not my strong suit, so the falconer has always been an extra challenge. Yeah, this is where you get your hunter friends to just drop traps. Not next to him though, I keep doing that. And then when the falcon comes out, the trap grabs the falcon. Oh dang it, I did it on him again. Too close. Sorry about that. Just knock him down, he just stands there. There we go, now we've got one. I guess that's it. As I just sit here and I hit tab, and when the Craven shows up, hit it, tab, Craven, tab. Stacks of Khazad Skarn are going for 5 gold. Yeah, Khazad Skarn is like, what, tier 6? Isn't that our highest stuff now? So that means, people who've been into Moria and picked up more than they want to carry around, doing it for 5 gold. 5 gold's not terribly unreasonable. I would think twice about paying that much for it. I'd be like, well, maybe I'll just go in and get it myself. Skarn. Yeah, Lotro economies seem pretty inflationary, but Treebeard is early on in the process. Exactly. You can't just level to 140 and then go run through giant halls and pick up, a gazillion things, because there is no level 130 or 140. Yeah, everything is pretty much, you're still mostly within range of the stuff that's out there in the world, so. But on the other hand, I mean, if you're on here and you're looking for stuff, you're probably out and about questing anyway. So you're probably, if you're smart, you're picking stuff up while you're out and about anyway. So I can't imagine. More often what I see is people who are like, hey, I need 12 more boards. Anybody got them? That sort of thing. Oh, thanks, Moobot. The legendary item system was revamped with game update 30.3. To learn more about how the system works and how it affects your current legendary items, see this article here. So the old legendary items are no longer in effect. They've been deprecated, as it were. Funny thing is, they're still, so we picked up some of them on this server because every so often there were a drop for various things before it was, the whole system got shifted over. But we didn't have, because Moria wasn't open yet, we didn't have the ability to, oops, I don't know why I'm doing that. To have them, what was that called? You have the person look at it. The legendary item forge. Yeah, we weren't able to have them forged and identified. So if you have an old legendary, one of the old style legendary items, you can't use it on Treebeard. You can't even have it identified. So it just looks pretty, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if you could put it in your cosmetics. You might. Maybe not, though, because it wasn't identified. So I don't know what's going on with those. I don't know what's going on with the Kuz Duel tablets that we keep picking up still, because they go into the wallet, so I can't just randomly spend them. as opposed to like the rune baubles that we keep getting. Like those, I just shove in my inventory and I'll spend those on the legendary tracker. So that'd be cool. So I don't know what's going to happen. So they're still iterating through, you know, the legendary item stuff to work out what to do with some of the old stuff. But I really like the new system. It feels more streamlined to me. It feels more accessible, because even though we had legendary items like on Evernight and and we've had them various other times too, like Landerval and stuff. It was always like, I was still like, wait, we got to get what? And wait, will we have to do what? And when do I do that? And do I do that now or do I do that later? Like, it seemed like there were a lot of things that kept adding on to make it more and more in line with what was going on in the, like with the leveling that it needed to have. And it, it just didn't seem, it seemed weird. So I really like the new legendary system. Like I said, it feels very streamlined to me. So like, the imbued and unimbuing, like, as Agatha was bringing up, like the whole imbuing thing, I was like, what are you even talking about? And I think they were trying to get something similar with this leveling of the slots. I think that's maybe supposed to be replacing what the imbuement system was. And I'm glad for that, because I didn't like having to try and figure out that whole imbuement rigmarole. So yeah, I'm fine with how this is. And so at CAI you can just unslot it from Mithril if I wanted to, but I mean, I'm fine with just losing the 60 ancient script if I replace that someday, because I'll just go and, like, what we've been here, well, almost 2 hours, right? We've been here together almost 2 hours, and I've already got another enhancement rune. I got 2 more, baubles that I can disenchant, one for 40, that one for 60. So I don't feel like the stuff is restrictively hard to get at this point. So I don't feel like it's really worth it to worry about. Like, I think it's just, just let it go, right? Like, just chill out. It's cool. You'll get the stuff you want. Yeah, that sounds great. You know what I mean? Like, just chill out, man. It's all good. Everything's fine. Oh, sure. Oh, we're gonna go do, you wanna do the table? Nice. All right. We're gonna go take advantage of a cute little housing item that was part of purchasing one of the expansions. When you bought the War of the Three Peaks, you got the War of the Three Peaks table, which is itself a teleport item, which I think is so cool. And it's free. I like free. So there's the War of the Three Peaks map table. Check that out. That thing is really pretty. I love maps, though. I'm a map person. Let me see, we get the floating names. Okay, it's gone. So when we get, and then it just teleports us straight over here to the War Room of Anak Kerfu. Let's say that 5 times fast, huh? I bet the dwarves can. And then if we go to the front of the room, which is way over here, look at that. They've got that same map. They're pouring over that same map. It's like, hey, check that out. Well, what if we go here, and then we take this point here, and then we go take that here. And so, yeah. All right, so let me go talk to Elof. Elof. Oh, I got 2 of them. March on Gundabad, missions for the cause. We have need of your assistance in completing a series of missions for the ongoing war effort. The Gablaka, the united army of dwarves, has been making headway toward Gundabad, but our troops are spread too thin to accomplish all that is needed to be done. No. Speak and help us out. And then also the war effort missions for the cause, which is a weekly wrapper. We have need of your assistance in completing a series of missions for the ongoing war effort. Yeah, same thing. Okay, so there's like 80 different missions, and there's a deed that if you do all 80 of them, then you complete that deed and you get a horse and all sorts of good stuff. So we're going to do the Secrets of Frostdelf, it looks like. This is a repeatable quest that you have never completed. Yay! It's one of the ones I haven't done. Oh, so what does it say? My scouts have come back from the Steel Keep They found a gap in the walls, which leads to the Frost Delph. Had my scouts more time, they would have mined the cavern and gathered mineral samples. We must return to properly survey the abandoned passage. It is unexplored, but it could still be rich in minerals. Okay, well, let's go. Travel now. Oh, and each one has a twist. I appreciate the little twists, but they don't seem to impede us in any fashion. This one is surprise attack. So like the boss might call some people out, or we might be walking through and, I guess surprise attack is we're walking through and then all of a sudden, whoop, there they are, surprise. Yeah, and not Carfu, Gesundheit, right? Give me a tissue. So yes, as before says, they're really glad that SSG got rid of the wood chipper model of legendary items, because it really felt like that. It really felt like, here's your legendary item. Oh, and here's 5 more. Just throw them in the chipper. We don't need those anymore. Be like, what are you talking about? Like, what? No, that's a legendary item. Ain't no way I'm, like, there's a whole storyline about going through Moria and they find one of these things and then they, and it causes all this trouble and they're like, well, I guess we're gonna do something about that. I guess I won't say anything else in case there's some of you who haven't done that yet. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, like there's this whole Moria storyline about finding a legendary item and the amount of power that it provides for the wielder, and if that's a good thing or not. So the idea of like, here, have 20, just throw away the ones you don't want, just seemed very strange. And I get how things progress and get, like you take one step, you take another step, you take another step, and then next thing you know, you're using a wood chipper on legendary items. It's like, yeah. So that was not necessarily ideal. So I'm glad they've moved away from that. I'm glad they spent some time like trying to think about it and trying to think it through and have long-term, implications investigated. I mean, I'm sure they did that the first time around, but how long ago? I don't even know how long ago the original legendary were. I mean, that would have been 14 years ago when Mines of Moria would have come out. Yeah. Oh, sounds like you have a story here for us, Master the Master. So, for example, there was an item, Artifact of the Veil, which you can only get by doing the Anvil raid. Okay. And it was needed for crafting, for a device for your legendary item. Oh, yeah, right, because there was that whole, what was it? Remember there was a thing you had to get that was like, the token of the king or something. I can't remember what it's called, but you're always trying to go, whoa, this guy's big. Where did you come from, Mothbog? Hello, let me just squeeze you with my weaponry. Give you a nice hug. Mission complete, yay! Now, if you're doing a mission in a 2-player, you get this reward box. So make sure you don't just walk by that. You'll be sad. All right, Dwarf Scout, hey, how's it going? Good work, let us return and report your success to Horin. Okay, I can do that. Anyway, and so it was needed for a crafting device for your legendary, and since most people couldn't get it, the prices on the auction house were insane. Like 5 gold or more, just to begin it, right? So, Agatha went and picked out the date. So so Volume 2, Mines of Moria launch, which would have been February 23rd, 2009. So that's how long ago it is that they developed the legendary items in the first place. So I get it, like, maybe you make decisions, like I've made decisions in 2009 that would not be the same decisions I would make today. Just one or two. Just pointing out that in 2009, let's see, okay, hang on, Shadow of Valdahir, okay. A new mission for you. My scouts have just returned from Valdahir, and it seems they only narrowly escaped a particularly keen warg known to these longbeards as Draglok. Ooh, so close. It does not surprise me that these Longbeards did not put an end to such a threat, but now the task must fall to you. Yeah, Dragalok cannot be allowed to harry our forces any longer. We cannot risk another ambush in the night. For the Goblaka, he says. So yeah, so 2009. Oh, you're in combat already. No worries. I mean, gosh, 2009, I was married to my first husband, and there was no indications that that was going to change anytime soon, although it was later on that year that things started to kind of fall apart. Well, it became obvious that things had fallen apart, I should put it that way. But my kids were elementary and middle school, I think, at the time. Like, that's literal lifetimes ago for some people. So, yeah. They are not an ancient evil. Oh. Well, a lot of times the dragons are ancient evil, so. Oh. Oh, I thought it was a dragon. Well, never mind. I'll try again. I'll try again in a moment. Oops. There's a path back there. Hi. Nice. I'll check here again in a second. You found a stalker. Okay, so, wait, no. Sorry, I'm looking for a beast. Wait, okay. Oh, never mind. That's usually what happens. We're looking for, okay, hang on, I'll do a check. Oh, found him. Okay, never mind. That doesn't always happen, though. I do get to use my skills a lot, often. Often enough that I finish the deed, which is nice. What are they doing? Yeah, that's true. Missions aren't that long. Okay, there we go. Mission complete. Oh, there's another one. Just for the record, I appreciate your attention to detail. The imbuement was in update 16, Ashes of Osgiliath, which was May 14th, 2015. So, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems to me that, you know, they created this thing in 2009, and then, you know, as you continue to go up in levels, as the game continued to present different challenges to the players, the legendary items needed to somehow keep up with that. And I don't think the original system was in, you know, it wasn't set up for that, I'm guessing. And so, you know, they came up with different ways, like the imbuement thing, to try and keep the legendary item as beefy as it needs to be in order to be better than landscape drops. And like, I even got to a point on Evernight, I think, when we were level 130, that I was using some landscape stuff instead of my legendary stuff because of some of the stats it had on it, which is crazy, right? I mean, like, your legendary should be better than anything you can pick up off the ground. So yeah, it's, I'm really excited about the new thing, the new way. I like the new way. I like how it is stronger out the gate, which is cool, which is fun. I always like hitting things harder, so that's nice. I like how streamlined it feels. I like how it reminds me of something else I already knew how to do with the essences, so that's been really nice. And I really like how I can customize it. Like, I can go into that giant library in Rivendell, and like for each category, it's got its own space, and I can search through. I do wish the searching, that somehow they could make the search function differently, so I could search for custom. Like, I could just pick a category and be like, show me all of the stuff that's level 60, boom, like, you know, that sort of thing, or whatever. I think there's got to be a way to maybe make that happen someday, but even still, I mean, it's like, it's not horrible. Okay, we're gonna do one of these missions from Ozma. I seek to repair the Hadhodiant. It's what? Oh, okay. In the Vales of Anduin, it would seem that there are many sightings of stone claws near the bridge. These pesky creatures are known for digging and burrowing. If they dig too much, they might collapse the entire structure. No, no. We can't have that. All right, and our twist here is never ending. Monsters in this mission will continue to join the fight until their entry point is destroyed. Okay. So that's our little kick. It's so funny because there's one of those in the Further Adventures of Bilbo Baggins, where you have to do the same thing, where you have to destroy the entries. Wait, I don't see you. You see me. Okay, that's good. That's all that's important. And it's really funny because it's just goblins. It's so weird. I still don't see you anywhere. Oh wait, there you are. Yay. And so you have to these goblins will come out of the gate because you're in Goblin Town. But like you just run up to the gate and you close it and they stop coming. Like there's not really any challenge to it, and it makes me laugh. So, because they act like it's a big challenge. It's like it's not a big challenge at all. So let's see. Mines of Moria launch was such a milestone in the game, right? You guessed at the time it was Turbine. Right, it was Turbine. And they didn't know Lotro would keep going. And yeah, right, here we are in 2022, and here we are still going. And it's so funny because people are like, every so often you get somebody, especially like in these streams, they'll be like, is Lotro dead? And you're like, obviously not. Like, I'm sitting here literally playing the game. So I'm not sure what answer you're looking for. but there's definitely people, obviously, who are like, who must think that, oh, okay, this is going away sometime soon or something to that effect. And it's like, doesn't appear to be. Yeah, so this is 15 years coming up. Like, they're coming up on the 15th anniversary this year. And they've got a whole bunch of plans on things to do, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. And then, so let's see. So Severlin is the executive producer. So he's the guy in charge of Lotro, of all the stuff that happens. And then he has hired a person under him, and that's Reninia, who is a producer. So executive producer, and he's was doing a lot of catching up and getting to know like what's the game's history and where we're going next. And it was one of those two, and I want to say it was Reninia, who was sitting down like with the developers and the folks working on everything, and was like, okay, so let's kind of look at the future and what do we want to do. And they had like another 15 years worth of content, just like of things that they had been excited to do. Like it's so easy. Like, yeah, they have so much more they still want to do. So if we keep coming back and playing, they will keep providing us with content, is basically what I hear. I'm like, cool. Because every so often, like, we talk about it, and I'm like, so, in 7 years, when we get to Gundabad on Treebeard, and it's like, well, are we still going to be playing in 7 years? I'm like, we can, if we want to. Oh, don't forget the box. Although it doesn't matter. We might be maxed out on our stuff. I think we're maxed. You have a cap on how much stuff, the currency that you can get. And I think we should check with the barterer. Who was that? That was an Ozma one, wasn't it? Hey, Ozma. We did the burrowers. Thank you for ridding us of those pesky stone claws. We will now finish repairing it, so trade and movement will be swifter. Bum, bum, bum. Hang on, I'm going to check with the dude over here. Hey, Quartermaster.
Hail, friend.
Anything new? Let's see. What's my reputation with you guys? Gob. I'm an Izkos. Okay, I'm glad you know what I am, because I don't know what I am. Oh, I think that's still the lowest level. Okay, so nothing new. So I want cosmetic pets, and I want housing decorations. Yeah, I'm not high enough level. And I want the mounts. I'm still not high enough level. Yeah. Here, standing is too low. Okay, then I cannot spend any of this currency burning a hole in my pocket. Too bad. I bought a few things. I'm like, I don't want any more of this stuff I don't want. I'm saving up. I want all the house stuff and all the other things. Anyway, we've been doing this for 2 hours together tonight, y'all. So I'm going to wrap up soon. What's going to take 15 years? Me wrapping up? I hope not. You can only imagine we go to Rune and Harad and what else can be done. Oh my gosh, like, yeah, they came up with a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, we haven't even done the scouring of the Shire, so that's a huge thing. And that could be an arc where they could do a whole bunch of South Farthing stuff. You've got, so they just did a big Dwarven storyline with the War of the Three Peaks and now Fate of Gundabad and stuff like that. So, I mean, I could see coming up with a whole other section of various things that they can, different breadcrumbs that they could kind of delve into. Yeah, there's a lot they could really play with still. So anyway, so we're gonna wrap up here soon, real soon. Real soon. If you have anything, any questions that you wanted to ask before I head out, or anything that was just like, you know, burning in your mind that you wanted to chat about, now is your time. And we'll do some last minute chatter while we do maybe one more mission. Or do we need to do one more mission? Do we have any more that we haven't done that are listed? Yeah? Okay, cool. We're going to take a look at Ozma. Eyes on Elderslate. All right, she's awesome. Eyes on Elderslate. Okay, she says, my scouts have reported that the orcish presence at Dwarf Place has lessened. If we are able to seize the Overlook in their absence, it might prove a valuable watch point in the days to come. You are to travel to Ranlaroth and claim it for the Gablaka. I can do Gablaka because I've heard that a number of times now from other people. All right, so Eyes on Elderslade. The twist is reinforcements. Monsters in this mission will attempt to summon allies to the fight. Okay. Hello, Hypatia. How are you? We were actually going to wrap up here pretty soon. So if you had anything you wanted to talk about, now's your chance. Because we are going to wrap up soon. I'm getting tired. You'd never guess. Hang on. Let me touch this metal base. I'm doing something with it. Oh, I've claimed the path. How did I do that? I see no banner. Oh, there's no banner on my screen. There's a big banner over there. Oh, I'm skating too. Yeah, okay, I'm not rendering yet. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I'm just like... Yes, you have a goose fan. Yes, the decorated goose named Gans. We got, when we were doing over in Evernight, we did Dol Amroth, and we got the swans there, and I named mine Night because it was a swan night. So I thought that was funny. So we do enjoy naming our things fun names. Who do I have? Oh yeah, I have. Here we go. I've got my little silver chipmunk, also known as the Ghost of Old Took. Often, though, we name our stuff Dutch names. I'm guessing that's where Gans is. Gans is Dutch for goose. Nice. See, it helps us with our vocabulary learning because there's every so often there is something that comes up, and I was like in our vocabulary list, and I'll be like, oh, I am familiar with this word. That is really convenient. So speaking of Dutch stuff, so we live in the Netherlands, but we're closer to the German border than probably areas that any of you, most of you, have any familiarity with. Like, so funny, because it wasn't until I was looking at moving here and then actually moving here, living here, that, you know, I start to find out how many things have like a Dutch connection or a Dutch history, the names of places, things like that. So I couldn't have named for you other Dutch cities aside from maybe Amsterdam. Now, as it turns out, Rotterdam is also in the Netherlands. And so is The Hague. The Hague is in the Netherlands. Yes, everything is Dutch. Everything's Dutch now. Everything in our world is Dutch, it seems like. This is pretty awesome. But it was really funny because I would tell people, I'm moving to the Netherlands. And they're like, oh, well, let us know how you like Amsterdam. I'm like, I didn't say I was moving to Amsterdam. I said I was moving to the Netherlands. And then living here, even still, I'd be like, something about the Netherlands. And they're like, yeah, or somebody would be like, oh, I have a friend who's visiting Amsterdam in a couple months. Maybe you could show them around or tell them what, good things to see. I'm like, I don't live in Amsterdam. That's like 2 hours away from me, which granted is not far. Like, it's a small country in that regard. Like, it's 2 hours from here to across. And if you went like tip to toe, it's, I think, I don't know, like 6 hours driving or something. It's not, it's not crazy or nothing, but it's just funny. It's like, I don't live in Amsterdam. But I'm visiting Amsterdam tomorrow and Sunday. We have a relative who's coming to visit. She's over in England at the moment, and she is going to take a little weekend trip to come over. So we're donning our masks and heading over to Amsterdam for, we're gonna go be there Friday, and then again we'll go back on Sunday, and then we'll kind of show her more of a provincial Netherlands on Saturday. Hey, now I see the banner. That's a pretty banner. Check that action. Oh, that's a really nice banner. I mean, it even looks like it's been hand sewn and stuff. Like, that's cool. Nice detail. I like it. Yes, there are important goods that the Dutch export. Stroopwafel. Yeah, I'm celiac, and so there's a lot of bread products that I don't eat because they have gluten in them, and that it doesn't make me a happy person when I do. So I have not had some like fresh things, like fresh baked bread is generally not, within my realm of ability. But you can get fresh made stroopwafel in Amsterdam. They have, there's a place in Arnhem too, but it's usually closed lately. Okay, so hang on, let's do this one. Relics of the Golden Cleft. My scouts have sent urgent word from Kidzul Kala. While our eyes have been turned toward Gundabad, it seems the Dour Hands have taken to pillaging in the wake of the Gablaka. From what I'm told, they seek to claim what few relics remain in the halls. Travel there, stop the Dour Hands, get them, grab the stuff, and make sure we'll take a look. We'll keep an eye on it. Okay, can do. And our twist is raging. Monsters in this mission will enrage at low morale, gaining attack strength and attack speed. Okay, on my way. Yes, we got some, I put stroopwafel on the grocery list. Like, there's a couple different kinds. We got some mini ones, we got the regular ones, and they're kind of a caramel. So for those who don't know what a stroopwafel is, it's basically like a thin cookie, like a waffle looking really thin cookie. You take 2 of those, and then you get like a caramely syrup in between, and then you squish it together, and so the caramel kind of soaks into the cookie as well. And so, and they're round, and they're really nice. They're like about this big, and they're really, really tasty. Even the gluten-free ones are really tasty. And I have had people who eat the regular ones try the gluten-free ones, and they're like, yeah, I can tell this is not like your regular one, but they're like, but it's still pretty good. This is pretty good. So I think I feel like I'm getting close to the real experience. So what you do is you take your mug when it's warm, and you take the stroopwafel and you put it on top of it, and so the heat from your drink heats up the that caramely syrup in the middle, and so then when you take it off and you break it, it just kind of like has that caramel gooey thing. So yeah, the mini ones do put them on an espresso cup. I don't think so. Sorry, yes. And I don't think I've had any of the miniature ones. I don't think they've had they're in the gluten-free variety. So, anyway, so Hypatia says here in Germany. Oh, you're in Germany, right. You get mostly the organic variety, whole wheat with honey. Huh. I mean, I don't know if that's how it. That sounds like it would taste really weird. Anyway, sorry. Master the Master. Okay, so is Holland just part of the Netherlands, or have they changed the name? Sorry for the silly question, but you're not aware. No, it's totally fine. It's not a silly question. So it was the Kingdom of Holland, but as it is now, there are like 12 or 13 provinces, and there's North Holland and South Holland. So those are two provinces that make up part of the country of the Netherlands. So it's something where it has changed, the name has changed over history as the makeup of the country has changed over history. Because like it's really weird. Being in Europe, history is very different because I grew up in America, and American history is taught in a very straightforward manner. Like, this happened, and then this happened, and this is why, and these are the good people, and these are the bad people. And history, in my opinion, is a lot more complicated than that. Yes, history is definitely, the books are definitely written by the victors, no doubt about that, right? Like, who was on the side of the right or the wrong depends on who you ask, though. For some things, not all things. Like, some things, there are some pretty objectively bad things, but overall. So like, there was an 80 years war here that took place, 1800s? 1700s? Yeah, about 400 years ago, that's true. It was basically, the results of that are what then created the independent country that exists now. And that country is the Netherlands. So it's kind of a long-winded answer. But when somebody says Holland, they probably mean the Netherlands. But if they really specifically are talking about an actual Holland, they're probably talking about North Holland or South Holland, which are provinces, which would basically kind of relate to a state. So it'd be kind of like saying, do you live in Dakota? It's like, no, I live in the United States, like that. But with more history behind it. Yes, unless they mean Holland, Michigan. There is a place in Michigan, a city called Holland, the name is Holland. But that's because it had a lot of Dutch immigrants. So, yeah. Yes, and also because the Dutch realize, the Dutch government realizes that Holland is how a lot of people, because it was still called Holland, even like in World War II, as recent as that people still referred to the Netherlands as Holland. So like your grandparents, probably, great-grandparents, would have likely have called this Holland and not the Netherlands. So even the Dutch government recognizes that. And so, yeah, the tourism website for the Netherlands is holland.com because, yeah, it's silly. Because even they knew they couldn't get away from it. But yeah, that's true. North and South Holland, those provinces are on the coast. Those are like over on the west coast, so kind of over by the North Sea, by the Channel over toward England, that area. And so they do probably contain almost everything you've heard of. So like Delft, if you've heard of Delft pottery, that's in that area. Amsterdam is there. Utrecht is in that area. Rotterdam, The Hague. Yeah, probably if you've heard of it, it's probably from that area, unless you're a history buff, and you may have heard of Operation Market Garden, which was a World War II push, like bigger in scope than D-Day, actually. And the push was to take a series of bridges along some rivers that are actually not far from here, and work from the south, work their way up and take these bridges. It was a series of like 5 bridges that were very key in trying to stop the flow of people and goods coming from Germany into this area, because that was kind of how they were keeping control of some areas. So they thought, hey, if we can stop that, then we can, prevent some things happening, and also liberate the Netherlands at the same time, and Belgium and France. Well, the France kind of was with D-Day. So if you are a World War II history buff, you may have heard of Operation Market Garden, or you may have heard of A Bridge Too Far, or you may have heard of the John Frost Bridge, and that's in this area of the country. So, but aside from that, pretty much the most famous things are over in the other part. So yeah, even in German, they often say Holland colloquially. Yeah, we say the Netherlands because some Dutch people get really annoyed if you call it Holland, which rightly so. It's not the name of the country, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, the supply chain, cutting off the supply chain, exactly. And so this was in 1944. Operation Market Garden was in the September timeframe. So yeah, and Master of the Master, you could probably find better explanations than what I just gave you online. I need to get better. I need to get my elevator pitch better. Oh, hey, we have a new freebie code. Usually there's a new freebie code that comes around during my stream. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. This week's, sorry, I'm just reading some of the previous. So this week's sale is, where'd it go? I just saw it and then I scrolled away. It was there. Anyway, so if you want to put in the code, which is in the chat, and you can probably find it faster than I can, you go to the Lotro store in the game, and the Lotro store window pops up with the normal stuff. And if you look across this top bar, you notice there's there's 4 different things you can choose from right there. So if you go to the 4th one and it says redeem code, and right there, and then you just copy and paste and put the code right in there, and then you hit apply, and it automatically goes to your account. It goes to the character that you're on. If it's a physical good, it goes to the character that you're on. So, and these codes are good for 1 per account. Not 1 per server, but 1 per account. So each week, though, we get a new code for free stuff. So that's how you enter that code if you didn't know that before. All right, I am gonna go grab some more to eat before I get ready to go to bed and prepare for our grand adventures of the weekend with Amsterdam so far away. I think our travel is like an hour and 45 minutes. Wow, it's pretty cool. Yes, you read a lot of history books and was used to the name Holland because like I said, a lot of people used to, that was the colloquial name for it. But technically the country is the Netherlands. So, oh, thanks. And my Twitter, before I went ahead and posted that, it's Beyond Shire. And so I will post when I'm going live, which is every Thursday at 1 o'clock. I will post a reminder and hopefully, a bit of what we're covering that day. Before also uses my Twitter. We tweet that he is going live. He goes live on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So, and he talks about the plugins, and we'll usually be working on a plugin, and so he'll be doing a lot of that work live on screen for 2 hours. So if you have any questions about plugins, or if you're curious about some of the back-end stuff about how that works, I mean, he doesn't know anything about like the SSG side of stuff because that's all proprietary. But from a player and a user standpoint, he's able to look at like the Lua that's out there, and he can explain all of that and how that all comes together. So yeah. So, and then I have this stream will be saved into my collection here on Twitch, and then on this channel, on the Lotro channel here. And then also I do upload it to my YouTube as well. So you can always just look through there if you're looking for something specific that we covered, or if you're like, hey, I want to get a better look at that outfit or whatever. And you can always leave me a note there if you had a question about something that I covered or did. So Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I mean, it's going to be exhausting, but I am looking forward to going and checking out Amsterdam. We haven't been out there in a while, so that'll be good. All right. Well, everybody, you have a fantastic weekend, and I hope you enjoy whatever you're getting up to, and yeah, and have a delightful time. Oh, good. The newest update notes also for the release notes. That was probably from yesterday, would be my guess then. Or is that for the upcoming? Or is that in the past? Well, there's some update notes there in a link. Oh yes, and I'm not going to raid because we're on the official channel, and I don't want to send you all to a channel and then they're like cursing up a storm or something, and you know, things that don't necessarily reflect what SSG would like to have people associating with them. So I'm not going to send you anywhere, but there is a list there. You can click on that link and it'll show you who is streaming Lotro right now. Yeah, and people will just show up. I was doing a test yesterday and like 2 people showed up, I think, and then we had a raid. And I'm like, I'm just doing some testing. But we ended up hanging out and chatting for half an hour anyway. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you next week. If you have some suggestions on things you want to see me doing on the stream, let me know, because we don't have any festivals until mid-March. We still got some time before that. So we'll probably do more skirmishes and instances, though. Those are kind of things I enjoy. All right. Well, wherever you go and whatever you do over this next week, I encourage you to stay connected to that Hobbit side of your heart. All right. Have a great time, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.